I had experience when I was in Mississippi. I was organizing students. You know, the governor wanted to make the college a prison, and we had decided that we knew where we could find our white allies. They would be at Earth Day. So we sent students to Mississippi State, way up past Philadelphia, you know, up in Starkville, to recruit students at Earth Day. They ended up having a mob of students chant "Get a rope" and chase them off campus. And at about 11 o'clock at night, by the time they got back to Jackson, driving on the same highway that has changed very little since Cheney, Goodman, and Schwerner were kidnapped and killed on it, murdered. They got to the Waffle House in Jackson, and they called me, and they said, we got to talk. So I went over to meet with my organizers, and they explained what had happened. And the whole time, from the counter at the Waffle House, there's this white guy staring at us. And you have to understand as you tour around the South, I'm sure you've been to a Waffle House or two. Well, it's usually there's blacks and whites in the same place. There's more of a class cut than a race cut. They don't sit together, but they're in the same small little diner. Well, we knew this guy's staring at us, and we're the only black people in the restaurant. And he's wearing a loose-fitting shirt, and that's significant because Mississippi's a right-to-carry state, and you can carry a concealed firearm if you don't have a felony with $100. He keeps staring at us. We were also aware that the Klan had put out death threats against us because Byron Dale Beckwith had just been put in jail, and we had announced we were having a mass march on the Capitol, and so they said that they would take out one of us because Byron was in jail. And so he comes over, and this guy, he looked like a used car dealer, but he looked angry. He kept staring at us. He had gold fingers, he had gold rings on every finger. He was wearing a shirt my grandfather would refer to as a Cuban tuxedo. I don't know if that's right, but it's a white shirt with a little bit of ruffles,
Gabiera.
Yes, a Gabiera. And he comes over to us and he says, all the boys I've been seeing on television. He leans right in our face. They're the only black guys in here. He might be packing a gun. Said, yes, sir. He said, excuse me for a second. He puts down Waffle House these monstrous to-go bags, these grocery bags. Turns around, put them down the table. He spins around. Two of the guys sense that he's about to pull out a gun, and they start to jump. I put my hands up like this, and he says, "Well, I just want to shake your hand, because if I'd been born a nigger, I'd be mad as hell too." This guy's called me boy and nigger twice. None of us. One's from St. Louis, one's from Chicago. One's from New Orleans. I'm from California. None of us guys around the table are accustomed to be called nigger or boy by some white guy. He said, you all stopped fighting back about 25 years ago. This is 1993. He's talking about 68. He said, I have no idea why. I'm so proud of you. I own the used car lot right down Highway 49. If I can do anything for you, you need money, come see me. I sent the same two fellas who'd been at Mississippi State, thought that they could find their allies, and ran into a lynch mob, or at least some kids masquerading as one, right out to his used car dealership the next day to get a check. For all of us, it was a lesson. I mean, it was God's affirmation that we had allies that we couldn't perceive easily, that they were there, that we weren't crazy thinking that white people might take up this cause with us, but also reminding us not to be so foolish as to think that we could always predict who they were. And they got the check, and we needed the check at that moment.
You know the great story about the Obama canvassers who are knocking on doors with instructions to engage the homeowner in a little conversation, and then say, who are you going to vote for? Knock on the door, a woman comes to the door, they chit-chat for a minute, and they say, may we ask you who you're going to vote for? She says, I got to ask my husband. So they're a little surprised, and she says, Joe, who are we going to vote for? And Joe shouts from the back of the house, we're going to vote for the nigger. And they say, thank you so much. And you gotta take your allies where you can find them.
That's exactly right.